Hello there, one and all, and thank you very much for tuning into episode 584 of Love at First Scent with me, Persolaise, live on YouTube as always, the third and final one of the live videos that we're planning for today. Whether you're watching the live or you're watching the recording, you are very, very welcome. Please feel free to leave a comment, ask a question. What are we doing in this one today? Something that I'm pretty sure, if memory serves, I've never ever done before on this channel. Filippo says, hello, Mr. P, and Alex is back as well. So is Holly, James. You're all very, very welcome. I should say, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do consider doing so. And if you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. And also please consider subscribing to my Substack. You will see a link in the video description below. Latest post is a review of the 100th anniversary edition of Shalimar that Guerlain are calling Shalimar L'Essence. Anyway, over the years, lots and lots of people have contacted me and said, oh, you should do a comparison video where you compare this perfume with that perfume. Or when you leave comments, a lot of you say, oh, how does it compare with this one? And I've toyed with the idea of doing comparison videos. A lot of the time it is just a question of time where I think, okay, well, I've only got enough time to do 3 videos, and so the idea of doing a side-by-side one has to be sacrificed because there are these new releases I want to talk about or whatever. And sometimes it's just because I happen to not have the 2 or the 3 perfumes in question. But last week I reviewed the new release from Parfum d'Empire, which I was very, very taken with. It's called Madagascar Le Baume Vanille. Now, last week it wasn't on the Parfum d'Empire website, and a lot of you contacted me and said, oh, you know, where is it? We don't know anything about it. I hadn't realized that it wasn't on the website yet, but I would imagine it's going to be on the website very, very soon if it isn't already. Tons of you contacted and said, how does it compare with Vanille Havane from Les Indemodables, which is, I think, a 2020 release from Les Indemodables composed by Antoine Lee. The Parfum d'Empire, of course, is done by Marc-Antoine Corticchiato. It's his brand, and he is the sole perfumer in that brand. I kind of get why it's specifically Vanille Havane that people have focused on. There are lots and lots of other vanilla perfumes out there that people have said, could have said, does Madagascar remind you of insert name of other vanilla perfume? But I think I can sort of see why people have specifically focused on the Les Indemodables, because there are parallels between the two brands. In the sense that they both produce excellent perfumes, they both have a very, very clear creative vision, they both focus on quality materials, they both, I suppose, have a sort of Frenchness about them, even though maybe the owner of one would say that the one has a sort of certain Corsicanness about them. And Vanille Havane has been very, very successful. There's a brand new flanker out, which I'm sure we'll be talking about tomorrow, because I should also say 5 p.m. UK time tomorrow being Monday the 15th of September. I'm going to be doing a live interview with Remy and Valérie Pulveray of Les Indemodables, and we're going to be talking about Immortelle Solaire and their brand new leather-inflected flanker of Vanille Havane. So you can see how the two brands share certain elements of DNA, and I mean that, you know, genuinely as a compliment to both of them, and you can see how there's a kind of competitive creative tussle between them in some ways. What are you folks saying? Mitra says, really want to try Baume Vanille. I don't even see it on their website to purchase. It must be coming soon. It must be. I'll try and get hold of somebody at the brand and find out when it's coming. This is interesting and can be very technical, says James. Dave NYC says, I heard this was postponed to October. Oh, do you mean the Parfum d'Empire? Vanilla can be wonderful, says Alex, and when badly done, disgusting and cloying. And I guess that's another reason why it's interesting to compare these two, because they are both really excellent vanillas. You know, do not make me try and decide which of these two perfumes I prefer, because they are both excellent in their own ways. This is a comparison between two very good brands, says Alex. Yes, it is. Now, I have pre-sprayed the two of them because I wanted to kind of smell them as I went along during the course of the day. And I drew up actually a kind of table of the different qualities between them. But let's do a spray. So this is the Madagascar, so I can kind of give you an instant what are they like at the top. This is the Madagascar, and this is my little sample of Vanille Havane. from the Les Indemodables Discovery Set. If you haven't tried Parfum d'Empire perfumes or Les Indemodables perfumes, you need to put their discovery sets, their samples, high on their list. Okay, so Madagascar, Vanille Havane. Okay, you can see straight away, you can smell straight away that there are many, many similarities between them. You get that they're both coming, that with both of them we're delving into the world of a very, very realistic, very dark, kind of sticky, borderline dangerous vanilla, but you also, from the word go, get the differences between them. And this is the Vanille Havane. With Vanille Havane, I think the use of the cocoa note is more prominent, and it's a really, really beautiful, super bitter, super interesting, just a really compelling cocoa note, which I think also starts taking, and this is the main point of difference between the two, I would say, starts taking things into the realm almost of molasses, almost of a kind of, one of those sort of dark, sugary condiments, brown type sauces that is sort of boiled for hours and hours and hours and hours. The Parfum d'Empire, the Madagascar, I think is operating slightly more, at least to start with, in the sort of top level. It's more about the sharper elements of its rum note. It is boozier. It is interesting doing this. But they both have, a fantastic vanilla core. I mean, really, really fantastic. If you only ever needed to have two vanilla perfumes in your collection that were really pure vanillas, you could go for this, because of course we could say that Shalimar is a vanilla perfume as well, but Shalimar is about so much more than vanilla, right? Shalimar is quite a kind of baroque, romantic, effusive composition. If you're wanting something that is more about the ingredient rather than about the sort of abstraction expression of an idea, then you need go no further than one or both of these two. Aidan says, hello Persolaise, I've heard comparisons between Vanille Havane and Écrin de Fumée by Serge Lutens. Do you see this at all? Oh, no, that was quite different, I think. I would have to return to that one. We're not going to start doing like four-way comparisons now, because that might actually make my brain explode. Holly says, I asked the comparison question out of curiosity, where I have one in my collection, but not the other, and want to get a sense of the scent. Yeah, absolutely. It's a fair enough question to ask. Offenlich says, I pre-ordered the Cuir des Abysses. That's the new flanker of Vanille Havane. Hope the leather note is as good as it sounds. Well, I can give you a sneak preview. It is. It really, really is. But we're going to talk about that more tomorrow, I think. S. Umar says, I would need amouage material for my vanilla collection. That's a good one. That's a good one to mention as well, the Cécile Zeroquion. But I always found material just a bit too low down. I mean, material, well, we can't talk about it now. Material is a shapeshifter. Material is almost like 3 or 4 different perfumes depending on what occasion you wear it on. And anyway, talk about that one another time maybe. Stefano says, talking about comparison, it would be nice to compare the just reviewed Earth from Jill Sander with Voleur de Rose. What l'artisan? Oh, that one is a much more kind of straightforward, obvious patchouli. Don't make me talk about other videos, but there you go. No, the Earth is weird, which is much weirder. So, Vanille Havane, what's it doing now? Yeah. The main point of difference, and I'm going to see what the pre-sprayed blotters are doing. The main point of difference is that the Les Indemodables, I think, is doing this kind of cocoa bitter molasses thing, and the Parfum d'Empire is much more about the rum. Now, shall I embarrass myself live? I'm going to try and swap these round, and let's do this honestly. Okay, look, I'm swapping around here, and I don't know. I genuinely don't know what's what. Let's see if I can detect. This is going to be bad. This is going to be really embarrassing, isn't it? Okay, let's clear the old airwaves. Right, I can't see what's what. Sorry, is the sound back on? Where did we lose the sound? Where did we lose the sound? Tell me where we stopped, and I will repeat what I was saying. It cut off as soon as you started smelling. Okay, well, I got it right. I said that this was the Madagascar. Sorry about that. I realised what I did there. I just tapped the mic. This is the Madagascar, and this is the Les Indemodables. And the reason why you can tell that it's the Madagascar is because that rum note is still intact. And it's what I was saying is that it's really still flirting and trying to bring in those top notes, and it's, I guess, more about trying to be a bit more sparkling and a bit more smoky. The Les Indemodables is darker and more bitter, and maybe earthier, but you do also very, very clearly see that they both feature a wonderful, wonderful vanilla. So there you go. An interesting technical exercise. Do not make me choose between them, because they're both great. They really are both great, and they both wear very, very well. Maybe the Parfum d'Empire has a bigger sillage. I don't know. That we would have to sort of test a bit more properly. But my feeling is that the Parfum d'Empire has a bigger sillage. But I think sometimes Les Indemodables are less interested in sillage. Like even their Ombre Suprême. Although no, I take that back actually, because sometimes I've sort of stopped being aware of it when I've been wearing it, and then people immediately sort of say, "What the heck are you wearing?" So no, I take that back. Further testing is required in order to determine the sillaginess of the sillage. Anyway, I'm glad we got the sound back. Often it says, Vanille Havane gets almost dry and balsamic to me. Yes, there's a slight aged tartness coming through for me as well, like dried plum syrup almost. Yeah, and I think maybe that's what I'm talking about with that molasses feel. I know exactly what you mean. Alex says, why choose between crème à catalane and crème brûlée? Exactly. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned to social media for details of new videos coming your way. But like I said, tomorrow, Monday, 15th September, 5 p.m. UK time, a live interview with Remy and Valerie Pulvray of Les Indemodables. So start saving your questions. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon. Bye now.